sketch the graph. And again, this time, it's not solved for y. So you could solve it for y, but here's the thing. When we get into especially what we do in the next section, actually our one word problem we do today, which is very much like the next section, you really need to be comfortable with graphing straight lines by graphing the intercepts. If you remember, when we have something which is x minus y equals 2, that's called standard form. And you can graph the x and y intercepts. You find the x-intercept by covering up the y term. That means x equals 2. You find the y-intercept by covering up the x term. So y equals negative 2. So it becomes a really quick and easy way to do this. To plot the intercepts, 2 and negative 2, and then connect those two with a line. And should I use a solid or a dashed line? Dash, because this is not or equal to, we're going to use a dashed line going through here. Okay, now it's not solved for y, so we're going to have to test a point to figure out where to put the shading. And remember, the important thing about testing a point is don't pick a point on the line. Don't even play around anywhere close to it, because then you might be confused over, is it on the line? Or, you know. So usually, if the origin is not in there, I have to pick the origin because the math is easier, right? If I make this my test point, right? That is 0, 0. And then I plug in here. 0 minus 0 is less than 2. 0 is less than 2. Is that true? That is true, right? So we're going to say shade this point is part of the solution. So shade above the line. Now, if you say, I'm going to solve this for y because I'm going to put it in the calculator, again, you have to make sure you solve it correctly. In this problem here, I would add or subtract x from both sides. I would have negative y is less than negative x plus 2, but I'm not solved for y yet. What do I have to do to solve? Usually say multiply by negative 1, right? Multiply both sides by negative 1. But what happens when you multiply by a negative number? It flips the sign. So by multiplying this by negative 1, I'm going to get y is greater than x minus 2. Right? If you don't solve it for y correctly, then you're not going to get the right graph. And this is consistent, right? It has a y-intercept of negative 2. It has a slope of 1. And it's shaded above the line.